Well, dear friends, my lovely audiences, my dear fellow Angelinos, it is moment once again talking about LA as a county. As a county, it must be safe. That's the first prerequisite. Among all the prerequisites, that's the first. Stays on top, it must be safe before people can call it home.
That's right.
Right? So,
Yep.
to make a county safe, you need a department, whole department of deputies that works for you. Everybody would do anything to protect you, to make safe, to make sure you are safe, your neighborhoods are safe, and the community is safe.
Yes.
And for such a department, the most important thing, people say money, 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 money. Okay, money is important, but money is not that important. What is that important is that you have to have a leader who is, number one, qualified to lead. Number two, capable of leading. Three, have the credibility, credentials of leading. And four, knows every details of how to do the job called the leading. Right? To me, all this past few months, I've decided, I'm so determined. Lots of my friends know me. They know a name, big name, Bob Lindsay, candidate of county sheriff of Los Angeles, right? So Mr. Bob Lindsay, I would say Commander Bob Lindsay, because he retired as a commander, one of the 16 of a whole department of 18,000 employees. Right. So Mr. Bob Lindsay is with me now. Sir, welcome back to the show.
Jack, thank you for having me here so that we can talk to everybody out there.
Very good.
It's wonderful.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for offering to continue servicing the community, especially at the moment when the community safety is going down.
Yes, very much.
When the crime rate, even though light upon, going up, right?
Yeah.
And lots of bad guys kind of gone free on the streets, and everybody, you, me, him, her, whoever, are in danger, are living in the environment that endanger themselves. So that is the critical moment. And we thank you especially for stepping up, right, to stand tall at this very moment.
That's right. And you know what? The community often, I've been a police officer for 40 years. And a lot of times we see everything when we're out on the streets. But you know what? The public doesn't see what happens on those streets and doesn't see everything.
Sure.
And you know what? A lot of times the papers don't tell them what's happened. I'll give you an example. In Montebello, I got a call 2 days ago from a very dear friend. She called, she's crying. Her dad was shot in a cigar shop in Montebello. Okay?
2 days ago?
Yes, 2 days ago. And probably nobody knows this because nobody hears about it. But crime after crime. And you know what? Her brother owns that cigar shop, and the mother and father were simply visiting. And a robber comes in, and the dad who is visiting gets shot.
Wow.
This is what's happening in LA County right now.
This is not reported.
No, Jack, you know what? Homicides, killings in LA County are up 56%.
56%?
56%. It is dangerous out there, and the people aren't being told. And that's not fair to everybody, because you know what? When you know it's that dangerous, you take precautions. You protect your family differently. You look around more often. But right now they're trying to hide all of this because there's an election.
It is a very serious issue now. You're talking about we, the community members, in other words, taxpayers,
right,
and the voters, deserve to know the fact.
The truth.
Yeah, the truth.
Just the truth.
What exactly the crime rate? Regardless of rising or going down, what is the numbers, right?
That's right. Right now you have a sheriff who's out there telling everybody crime is down. That is not the truth.
So that's 180 degrees going the other way.
Well, it's false.
We're
it's
lied
false.
upon. We're lied upon.
Exactly. But you know what? It's because he wants to be reelected despite the fact since 2014, crime in LA County is up over 60%. It's way up.
But the problem is that people do not know he's a liar. or people do not know they are lied upon.
Right.
And chances are a liar still might get elected.
Well,
That is the problem.
It's possible. You know, when you have a family and somebody's not telling the truth, you know how they try and hide things so that they can keep it a secret? This is exactly what this sheriff has done. On the sheriff's department website, he had all of the crimes listed. He had them all there, but when he started not telling the truth, he took all the crimes down because he didn't want anybody able to see the truth. So he hid the truth, and what comes out of his mouth, he just says, hoping people will believe because they just don't know.
There might be some people, somebody who fights against it, who fights to bring the facts back to the community who deserve it, right?
Well, there's a company, and it's called Crime Mappers. Crime Mappers maps crimes throughout the entire United States. Let's say Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles is one of those places.
Okay.
This sheriff quit giving him the statistics.
The mapper, the crime mapper.
The crime mapper. He called and said, what is going on? How come you're not giving me the crime stats? And their response from the sheriff's department was, well, we're not sure if they're correct. We will get them to you maybe in 30 or 60 days. Well, what 30 or 60 days is after the election.
The after election.
Because he doesn't want crime mappers to know how much crime is here, and he doesn't want the public, your viewers, to know how much crime is here and how very dangerous it is right now in LA County.
That is politics being played. Am I right?
100% pure politics.
Politics being played. And,
That's right.
And to me, politics has another name of lying.
Well, you know what?
It is a lie we see now.
When you will do something to not be transparent, when you do something to not tell the truth, when you do something just because you want to be reelected, you're the wrong person in the position. What you need to be is truthful. So homicides are up 56%. That's a lot of deaths. That's a lot of killings. You need to tell the public, look, it's not safe right now. Be careful. We're looking for these bad people. We can't find them right now, but the public needs to know this. When you act like there's nothing wrong, you're sending the public into an area that is unsafe, and that's not good for them.
But to do it to check about it on another elevation, though, lying to the public, is that a crime?
Well, he would fire a deputy for that, yes, but not for him, not for a politician. For a politician, he doesn't consider...
What if a politician himself being a liar?
Well, he doesn't consider it a lie. He considers it a stretching of the truth. He considers it something different because he'll do something like say, well, today there were only 6 robberies, and yesterday there were 7. So crime is down.
The crime is down.
Crime is down because he looks at it from a little tiny perspective, and so he uses his statistics in a manner that fools the community.
Whichever way favors his direction.
Right, but what we need to look at is when he came in 2014. This is when he came in. So we start 2014. That was our benchmark. That's where we saw where crime was, okay? Now, he's there 15, 16, 17, and it's now 2018. How is crime compared to when he started? It's up, way, way up. It's up more. It's up more than it ever has been historically. This is the worst.
Within 4 years, less than 4 years.
In less than 4 years, everything is falling apart. It is simply falling apart. I mean, he has not enough deputies. He hasn't hired. He has the money, but he just didn't hire the deputies to prevent crime.
As we can see already, there are quite a few instances in Roland High industry, those areas, and Roland, Hacienda High, and even back there to north as north as Arcadia or foothill areas, and there are lots being reported.
In Arcadia, burglaries alone are up 250%. This is tragic. Business owners all over the San Gabriel Valley, all over this area right here, I feel sorry for them. Because you know why? Some of them quit reporting crime. They have given up. They have given up reporting it. They've lost hope.
They lost hope, yeah.
They've lost hope. We have some calls where business owners will call, and it takes so long for a police officer to get there that they simply
So
give
they
up.
gave up. They just don't bother.
That's right.
All right, good. My dear friend, my lovely audience, time is very critical. I mean, this is a very critical moment for LA as a county because we see the crimes going on and on and on without seeing exact numbers being reported because we are lied upon, because somebody are afraid or is afraid of letting the public know what they have been done, as to what they have achieved, what they have not achieved. Well, things like that. Well, it's a failure. It is kind of a negligence of duty whatsoever. I don't know how to call it. What I want to do is that I want to make sure LA is safe. All right. So, as a conclusion, we found out that in the department, the sheriff department, politics is being played. That's why you see everywhere you go, you see a signage, you see either a yard sign, or a billboard or a poster of any kind that has a name that says Bob Lindsay for sheriff. You have a fine print down below. I wouldn't recommend it. You do a big one. That line says, remove politics and the politician out of law enforcement.
Right.
That's a very sounding slogan that makes lots of sense versus what we have been talking about.
Look at the police departments, the sheriff's department are there for the people. They're not there for politics. When you go out into the community, you don't ask, are you a Democrat, are you a Republican, are you an independent, are you a Christian, are you a Muslim, are you Hindu? We don't ask those questions.
They are just people.
They're people. Everybody is the same. They're good, honest citizens. They all need to be protected. And right now, they're not protected.
All right. My dear friend, with me, Bob Lindsay, candidate for County Sheriff of LA, is sharing his thoughts about, sharing his worry about LA as a county. And he has, of course, so much readiness to take the office. And I believe the momentum is right there. We don't want to take it for granted. We still want to push him to the very top to make sure he has it. Let's take a moment back. When we come back, we'll pick up how exactly he wants to remove politics and politicians out of the system. All right, so
Thank you.
Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friend, my lovely audiences, my dear fellow Angelinos, my friends, brothers, sisters. Welcome back to the show. As a matter of fact, it is a critical talk about LA as a county, about LA as a community. We are at risk. We're so much at risk that we worry that we will someday, something bad will happen to you, to me. That old man killed or shot at in a cigar shop might be your dad.
That's right.
Or brother or dad, well, whatsoever. It could be yourself, something like that. Well, that is why we are worried. The more we worry, the more we find out ourselves in the need of a leader in the department that makes the whole department work, which is now not functioning at all, to my take. All right, go. And my friend Bob Lindsay, I promote him, swear to God, not for the fact that he's a friend of mine. It is exactly for credential, for his readiness, for his willingness, and for his wisdom of how to move things around in the department. Right. Okay, now with that many years in the service, I'm just thinking like a baby thinking, right? So suppose if there is a vote in the department among the deputies for who to be their leader, their sheriff.
Yep.
So who do you think will get a vote?
Well, you know what? They took a vote.
Will they vote you?
They took a vote.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So they weren't taking a vote for a very long time. But about 2.5 weeks ago, they sent a vote out to the deputies. And 40-to-1 ratio, the deputies chose me over the current sheriff and over the other guy that's running.
40 to 1.
40-to-1. I had more than 1,300 deputies say they wanted me as the sheriff, and the sheriff, the current sheriff, got 30 votes. That's it, 30. And I'll tell you who those votes were from, because he spends $1.5 million per year on his pretty car that he has.
Oh, they're the drivers.
Oh, it's 100,000 and 9 drivers. So his 9 drivers were 9 of his 30 votes, I'm
All right,
sure.
good. Okay, yeah.
Plus, he has some other people that are work around
I would have
him.
that. I would have done that too.
Yeah. So the only people probably that voted for him are right around him every day.
The small circle,
It's a
the
very
immediate
small.
circle.
And all of the deputies in the courts, in patrol, in the community colleges, in the hospitals, all of the places that we are, want me to be their sheriff.
I would bet that at least the 2 officers who were chastised for chasing the bad guy would not vote for him.
No, they would not.
Of course they would not.
And there's
right?
and of course, and I think everybody who watches your program already knows that a lot of deputies are disciplined unnecessarily. There are deputies right now who are retiring 3 years early, 4 years early, because they simply cannot stand working on this department anymore.
They can't take it any longer.
And when you lose a deputy who's worked on the department for 20 years, 25 years, that's a loss of $1.5 million because of all their training, all their experience. It just goes away like that.
All wasted. Yes,
It's
all
gone.
wasted. Well,
And then
wasted.
you have to hire somebody, and look how long it takes to train them. It takes a very long time.
Okay, very good. There's a lot of work to talk about. One thing for sure, the 40-to-1 is a good sign, very good sign, but you don't want to take it for granted.
No,
You
never.
don't want to take it for granted. And I keep saying this to my friends. Even last night at dinner, my wife and 2 other friends, we were there, and we happened to talk about county sheriff, talking about LA as a county though. When they learned about the crime rate up, and up by a large range, like at large, they were so surprised. And everybody was asking me about Bob Lindsay because they know that I was supporting it. And well, it looks that they do need, everybody says that they need a change of the culture. They see differently. They see things are being conducted in a different way. In the eye of the deputies, you will see the difference, right?
Well,
you fail to
that's
see
right.
the deputy that you used to see before.
The deputies know what it takes to make crime go down. They know what they need to do, but they're not being allowed to do it. This sheriff has tied their hands, so they're not fighting crime anymore. They are not keeping the public safe simply because they're afraid. They're afraid of their own sheriff. And so when you're afraid, it's like being in a house and you're afraid of your mom or your dad. What kind of, you want to trust your mom and your dad. You want them to discipline you fairly. You want them to be nurturers. You want them to guide you. That's not what's happening on the sheriff's department. So they know I've been there 40 years. They know who I am. They know that they can trust me to do the right thing. If they need to be fired, they'll be fired. But if they don't need to be fired, we will go ahead and take care of that situation another way.
Okay. And there's another aspect that I would like to check with you in the whole area now. The other day I was on an airplane having some fun chatting with a professor from Australia. We're talking about history of the United States and history of China.
Yeah.
And his point was that United States, even though 200 something years, that time was 230 something years, right? The only point that pushed the United States forward is that whatever good for the previous presidency has been carried on as a legacy to go forward. It goes on and on and on and on, generation after generation, presidency after presidency.
Yes.
It is accumulation of good stuff.
That's right.
Right? Okay. Whereas in China, you're talking about 5,000 years, and the emperor after emperor, which is overthrown by the uprising of the peasants,
Yes.
and then they start their own. Everything of the previous dynasty is no good. They wipe out everything. Right now, talking about same thing. If you overthrow a dynasty every 20 years, though, and this country has only 20 years of history. All right, now, talking about the department, though, we all recall during Li Baka time, there are some years, some golden years when the crimes goes down with lots of things. Just because the system whatsoever, the good part was under Li Baka's name, everything is overthrown and wiped out. So that's what we call either you carry on the previous legacy if there's any, or you wipe out for political reasons or whatsoever. What you will do, what will you do once taking office?
So, Jack, I worked for 3 sheriffs. I worked for Peter Pitchess, I worked for Sherman Block, and I worked for Lee Baca. The sheriff's department was formed in 1850. It's the oldest police agency, along with Sacramento Sheriff, in
In the
California.
same year, a year before, California became a state of the United States.
So 1850, that's a long time. Every sheriff has always built it up.
Yes.
When this sheriff came in 3 years ago, he tore it down. And why did he tear it down? Politics.
Politics.
He tore it down because he didn't want anything remaining that Mr. Baca, that Sheriff Baca, had done. So he fired people that didn't need to be fired. He got rid of programs that were very helpful to the community. He got rid of community advisory groups. He got rid of the clergy, people, men and women of God that were coming in to help prisoners. He did this because he wanted to start his own department. You can't take a department that has decades, a century, well over a century, a tradition
of legacy. Yes.
You cannot take that department and just start all over again. It doesn't work that way. But that is what he's intended to do, and he's demolishing it.
Remember, we had quite a few times talking about the Asian community, Asian Special Task Law Enforcement
Right,
program.
Asian Crime Task Force.
Yeah,
Yes.
Asian Crime Task Force, that's the full name, right?
Yes.
It was so functioning, according to Tom Yu, who was a member on the team.
One of the best tools that the Asian community had in centuries. Absolutely. Fighting crime, keeping the Asian community safe, doing what it needed to do behind the scenes, by the way.
Having cases resolved.
Solving murders, solving robberies, taking gang members to jail, taking people who were extorting businesses, taking care of all of that. It was just wiped out by the sheriff. He just basically said, go away, we don't need you.
Because it's under a wrong name.
Right.
Right? Okay. Now, my dear friends, well, the more we talk, the more we are sure that we find the handle of the whole thing. Right? The whole thing is that not only the departments are not working, it is exactly because the concept of the leader, of the sheriff, is wrong. He wants to do everything in his own name, yet he has no experience, he does know nothing what to do. So, for a department that has history going back all the way to 1850 to the current days, you're talking about hundreds of years of experience, of legacies, of leftovers, of traditions to carry on. You can't just wipe out the whole page, start anew, unless you are, well, somebody from God. I don't know. Okay, let's take a moment out, and when we come back, it is time to check about your bucket list.
Sure.
Because in less than 3 weeks, you'll be the sheriff.
Yes.
And people will be more interested in checking with you. Yes, Mr. Lindsay, what have you in store for us? What have you prepared for us? What do you want to do day 1, day 2? If not that, we want week 1, week 2, something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
it matters.
Good.
Yes.
Matters, right? Good. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, my dear fellow Angelinas, whoever. Welcome back to the show, which is a moment, critical moment, talking about the community, LA as a county, which is quite at stake because our public safety, our security is kind of hanging there with the crime rate going up and with the voters, with the community members being lied upon from the facts that the crime rate is going up, with people still getting credit from that terrible condition, we really felt it is necessary to use our right of democracy to get nice replacement, to see a better LA as a county by putting the right man on the job as the sheriff of the LA Sheriff Department as a county. All right, so with me, my friend Bob Lindsay, he is so ready, and not only him being ready, me, after learning from him, hearing from him, for that many times I felt almost I'm ready too. I believe you're ready. We want to make you ready for a better LA. Now, with everything laid upon, we found out that we are being lied upon. Okay, we want to know the fact. The fact is laid now. We know the crime rate, everything is going up. And then the reason is that the legacy is being overturned. Tradition is not carried on. Tradition of a long history starting from 1850 till now has been totally turned over. Somebody starting his new, yet with the ability, limited ability, can't do nothing. You, the one who will, according to our judgment, will walk into office, must be ready,
yes,
right? So
that's right.
We, as your constituents, who has a right to say yes or no, need to know from you how ready you are. In other words, we want to check your bucket list about what to do and your schedule. If not day one, day two, how about the first week, second week, first month, second month? In other words, we're talking about your prioritization of job duties, please.
Right. Well, you know what? We already have a team ready to come in, team of experienced people who know what they're doing. And talking about the Asian...
You have already teamed up
Yes.
people. Good.
Yes, yes. I can't tell you who they are because if I said who they were,
yeah.
the current sheriff would retaliate against them. But here is the Asian community. One, we need advisory committees. From every aspect of the Asian community, we need people put together to come in and advise us on what we can do better. We used to have advisory committees. This sheriff got rid of them. They will come back.
Who are your eyes and ears?
We need eyes and ears out in the community, people who understand the community, people who are willing to come forward after hearing what's going on and to tell us, this is what we need. These are the problems, these are the issues. And then they also need to be involved in the solution. How do we fix it? We need to bring back the Asian Crime Task Force. There are crimes being committed out there that people are not reporting. There are people threatening business owners, and they continue to threaten them. They're actually taking money from business owners for protection. This can't happen.
Oh, no. We're going back to Hong Kong.
That is happening on a daily basis. Why? Because they know the Asian Crime Task Force no longer exists. That task force kept that safe. They found out they would take those people to jail, and they would stay in jail a long time for doing that. Look, we work hard for our money. Business owners risk their entire life putting themselves into that business for their family. They spend hours and hours and hours working away from the family to make a life. And when somebody comes in and just says, give me your money, that is not right. We need to stop those things. We have unreported crimes, unreported rapes, unreported burglaries. All of these things are happening. That's going to stop because we're going to put that group together to go in, find those out, and arrest the people that need to be arrested. The same thing holds true just generally going to the stores, the kids going to the schools. The schools aren't safe anymore. Schools aren't safe. Look at what happened in Lancaster this last week.
Right,
there was a school shooting. Do you know that the helicopter couldn't get there because the weather, there was slow response? We need to keep our schools safe so our children are safe. It is scary when you drop your child off at school and you go home
And you're not sure.
and you wonder, is my child going to come home today
Alive, yeah.
alive? This has to stop. And you know what? We have the people that can do it, but we have to be elected. We have to be put into office. This is so important on June 5th. For people who want a safer LA County, for people who want change, if you're tired of crime going up, if you're tired of the homeless situation, look at this sheriff didn't even care about the homeless situation for 3 years.
Yes, of course.
He only had one deputy working the homeless out of 4,100 square miles, one deputy.
And you have 58,000 homeless people.
Homelessness is up 25% just simply from last year. And when you talk about that, that's impacting our communities.
Yes.
And trust me, they're now getting on the trains. They're riding the trains to your community. They're riding them. They're riding them for free. They don't have money, but nothing happens to them if they're riding for free, because if they get a ticket, they just don't show up anyway.
Yeah, they don't care anyway.
So it doesn't matter.
They don't care, yeah.
So it doesn't matter. But these are all of the things that are in the public. Hepatitis A, disease, all of these things grow out of crime and homelessness.
Yeah.
These are things...
From the root matter.
That's
from
right,
the root
from the
matter.
root. If you don't get down and begin to fix it from the root cause of the problem, then we, in the next 4 years, are going to be doubly worse. In other words, he's doubled the crime almost. I mean, the things that are happening now, just wait in 4 years. When you walk through the streets of LA County, you will truly feel very unsafe.
You're right. And a few days ago on our parking lot, which is next door, one building down, at least two of the employee cars were broken in. Under daylight.
Yes.
Under daylight, right.
Yep.
So people are even tired of getting a police report. I'll forget it. Well, it won't work anyway.
Well, it doesn't
Something like
work, but everybody needs to understand it is so bad right now.
Uh-huh.
Please do not leave your purses where people can see them in the car.
All right,
Do not
good,
leave
good.
valuables where people can see them. Do not leave anything in your car that somebody might want to steal, because they're breaking in and stealing it because they know that there's no penalty.
Yeah, like a box, like a purse, like something
Even
fancy.
even a Garmin, you know, your
even
map thing.
Yeah, even a cell phone.
No, if you cell phones, they'll break in right away and steal
even
the
a cell
phone.
phone. Yes, all right, good. My dear friends, lovely audience, today we'll really touch base with my friend Bob Lindsay about his readiness for being elected as the sheriff for LA Sheriff Department. LA as a county has been experiencing very much sharp downturn for the last almost 4 years. People will see, every eye, public eye will witness, has already witnessed about the downturn. And with the crime rate going up, the only thing going up is the crime rate, everything else goes down, right? So the thing is that all fingers at very point, it points to one thing, that we need a new sheriff. The sheriff would, number one, be experienced enough, number two, have the credentials to lead the department, and so willing and has wisdom to do so, and has a team to do so. With the Bob Lindsay, who wins 40 versus 1, the votes for sheriff, though I believe the seat is his. However, you are not taking that for granted. We want together, with you, me, him, her, everybody all together, work together for the last kick to push him to the very top. So let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we will still see how much we can expect from this great human being who will change our life, who will change LA. So stay with us. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, the dear fellow Angelinos, welcome back to the show. As a matter of fact, we're not showing anything. We're just discussing about our own county, LA, which is our own home, which is our own backyard that we call home, right? So, well, the importance of this discussion is so obvious. You don't tell me beautiful words whatsoever. What I see more crimes. So, why? You tell me why. Anybody can tell me why. So, well, don't tell me there's a beautiful paper, beautiful website, so on and so forth. Forget the whole thing. Why am I seeing 2 more cars being broken in? Right? Right? Cool.
Right.
So that's the question. The question. Now, there are so many things. When so many things of the same nature happen, though, people say, "Are we in the wrong county, or is the county something wrong with the county?" Well, the county, no wrong. I tell you, the county is all right. It is the sheriff department whose job is to safeguard the county is wrong. So for that, we need a leader. We need somebody. The ship needs a captain, man. The sea is rough. We need the ship go on the course. We need a captain. The captain being, in my eye, Mr. Bob Lindsay, candidate for county sheriff of LA. Sir, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much.
That's too long for a lead line, though.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited. It's
That's
an
okay.
emotional issue, man. It's an emotional issue. It's my own safety I'm talking about. My kids, my wife, my own family.
That's right. We need to save LA County. We really do. We're at a precipice. We are at the point where if we don't do something, then really, really bad things are going to happen to our families.
And somebody
children.
else will do something to you.
That's right.
Right? Good,
That's
good,
right.
good. Okay, you talking about number 1, the tradition has to be carried on. Number 2, you have to motivate everybody, including you will restore the advisory board, the Public Safety Advisory Board, and you would restore the Asian Special Task Force, and so on and so forth. With that, you believe that in how long a period, you will get the situation under control? Because right now, things are kind of in an outburst already. So we want somebody tough enough to get things under control.
Well, you know, Jack, there's a lot more than that needs to be done. And I'll tell you, I think all of us have come home, and when we walk through the front door, we smell that food, that dinner being prepared, right? And we know that mom's in the kitchen. God bless my mom, she's passed away. But I remember coming home and smelling that and knowing mom's in the kitchen. And wow, it was a good feeling to know. Well, mom's not in the patrol cars anymore. Mom's not in that kitchen, so we don't have enough deputies to cook the food. We don't have enough deputies to do what they need to do. We're going hungry when it comes to patrol. And that's part of the problem. So we have to do a lot of hiring. We need to do a lot of hiring in the Asian community, because you know why? We are very underrepresented from the Asian community. We need more police officers from that community so that they can understand what's going on in that community and tell us what's going on. We need to hire 1,500 deputies yesterday. He has failed to do that. He literally went to the Board of Supervisors asking for more money. Give me more money because I don't know how to do this. So now they're trying to teach him how to hire. He should already know how to hire. That's his job. He's the
firm
sheriff.
from London is hired
That's
to
right.
teach him how to do the job.
Look, I know how to hire. I've done it multiple times. I did it for 6 years on this department, 33 years on the department, 25 assignments. One of those assignments I had was hiring deputy sheriffs. We can hire. He just failed to do it. So we need to hire the deputies, but it's even more than that. The public loves the deputies. Nobody likes a bad deputy, but we love the good ones because they keep us safe. We need more good deputies to come to our homes, to be in the community, to help advise us, to tell us the truth. These are the things that we need. And we're capable of doing that. But when you only have 2 deputies doing the job of 10 deputies, they can't get it done. They can't be in the community because they're running around call to call with no extra time. They don't get days off. They're ordered to work. They can't see their families. They're upset. This is not good for
The
deputies.
nerves are so overstretched.
Yes.
So the the quality of service, even their own safety is in question. Am I right?
Their own safety is not only in
Yeah.
question, it's perilous.
Yeah.
Falling asleep, going home, crashing, you name it. And you don't want somebody that's tired having to make a decision whether to shoot
Yes,
or
you're
not
right.
shoot.
You're right. That's why we're not drunk driving.
That's right.
Because drunk driving is risky, right?
Well, nobody
So,
should drive
now,
drunk.
How about you have a department of drunk driving, being drunk driven? So that is the point, right? I like your description about going home from a distance. You smell the food being cooked. You know mom is there. You know you're safe.
Right.
What a nostalgic scene, right?
Yeah.
So we want to bring that day back when we know that we're coming home. Mom is there cooking, food is ready, and then that scene is gone. So we want to bring that to the community members.
That's right.
Okay.
The sheriff's department needs to be ready. It needs to be ready. It is not. And it's not the deputy's fault. It's
Okay.
the leader's fault.
Okay, now, last question I would ask you. You don't have to tell me the exact names for reasons commonly understood, right? Now, for you to start working in the office, though, you have to have your crew, your team already formed up, right? Do you think with the nowadays available officers and deputies, right, to form the team, that will be put to work in as soon as possible, as short as possible time?
Yes.
I'm thinking about a situation when Bob Lindsay is there. Oh, I have to wait for 2 more months before I can kick in, so much and forth. I want to prevent that situation. So,
Yeah, this is not the case. You know, the sheriff's department for a long time under this guy's leadership, or a lack of leadership, they've promoted a lot of the wrong people. They've promoted friends, they've promoted favors, they've promoted people who don't deserve the job. There's a lot of people sitting in this department who have had outstanding evaluations for years, but they've been bypassed. And you know why? Because they speak up. They say what's right. And you know what? There's a lot of people afraid to listen. A lot of people who say, hey, wait, you got to stop doing that, then they're pushed to the side because they said something. We need people surrounding me that aren't afraid to speak up. We need people who will tell me, wait, that's not good, that's not right. We need to change that. If you don't surround yourself with people who are willing to talk, who aren't afraid, then you're going to make a lot of mistakes. I will surround myself with people who are good people,
your own
leaders.
Your own, call it entourage.
Well, it's not my own entourage. In fact, what I did when I worked personnel,
Yeah, people around you.
I
right?
allowed my highest staff to pick the people because I knew that they were going to work with them and that they were going to be the best qualified because they don't want to get somebody that's lazy.
They are capable of picking, and who they pick will work with them under the same system. You can kick off, make it work on day one.
We need the people that are best suited for the position, the best performance, and we know that. You know, when you go to school, you shouldn't be getting an A just for showing up. You get the A for writing the best report.
Yeah, all right. Good,
Does that
good,
make sense?
good. Yeah, that makes
So
lots of sense.
we need the
That
people.
makes lots of sense,
we need
yes.
the people who are getting the A's to be the leaders on the department. Right now, that's not what happens.
All right, good. Well, it all depends where you stand. If you stand at the dean's point, just to make sure the school has enough funds, though, your attendance is everything,
That's right.
right? But from teacher point of view, from parent point of view, so we do not send our kids to school to just be present. We want to learn.
That's right.
Right now, so same thing, same logic to community. You're doing your job, and you get your salary paid. Whatever, 100%, you pay 100%. You 50%, you pay still 100%. But we, regardless of how much you get paid, we want to be safe.
That's right. See, when you show up to the county, you're going to get a paycheck. So we have some people that go out and work so hard every day, and others that just come to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
We want the people who are working hard. We want the people who are excelling. We want the people
Yeah.
who know what they're doing. We want the people who are going to protect
And
the community.
the two groups, working and not working, directly affect the fact that we are safe or not.
That's right. You want this person over here that's
Yeah,
working, not this
of course,
person
of
here
course,
who's sitting
of
at the
course.
donut shop or sitting
Uh-huh.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Need a cop, find one, get one in the donut shop. Then what they say about LASD, right? So.
Well, at least the donut shop is protected, though.
Oh, yeah, good.
Right?
That's good part. We're over time, but Bob Lindsay is my pick. Is the pick of my team, and also we endorse EDI. We endorse Bob Lindsay for county sheriff because we do need one. Not only we do need one, but we need a better one. We need one who knows how to do the job, capable of doing the job, and willing to do a better job, who will give you, everybody, an answer. Yes, here's the one that LA will get better in my hands.
Yes.
Something like that.
Absolutely, Jeff.
Thank you for that promise. And I'll give you 30 minutes to deliver a message. Will you please?
Sure. The vote is June 5th. Please, your vote matters. Go to the polls on June 5th and vote Bob Lindsay for sheriff. And when you do, I will be out in the community. We will take care of the community. And I will tell you, your vote counts because too many people don't go vote. So every person who goes and votes, you're not one vote. Your vote is worth 10 votes. So if you look at it that way, your vote is very powerful. You can change Los Angeles County just by showing up. So please show up on June 5th.
All right, very good. So that's the call, my dear friend. Go vote. And I would make an addition on the call. Say, go vote for Bob Lindsay. All right, good.